a shattered ego, the terrifying reaction of a narcissist when you no longer need them. Have you ever wondered why the exact moment you finally decide to choose your own peace, the environment around you suddenly erupts into absolute chaos? Have you ever felt that terrifying, heavy drop in your stomach when you realize that by simply walking away, you have somehow ignited a psychological war you never wanted to fight? You finally muster the courage to step back, to stop over-explaining, and to calmly state that you no longer need their validation, expecting that perhaps, finally, they will just let you go. But instead, they unleash a reaction so disproportionate, so vindictive, or so overwhelmingly manipulative that it leaves you completely breathless. If you are standing in the wreckage of this exact dynamic right now, holding onto your sanity by a thread, I want you to anchor yourself to this one vital truth: that confusion is not accidental. What you are experiencing is not a random outburst. It is a highly predictable, mechanical response to a collapsed psychological structure. To truly understand why a person reacts with such terrifying intensity when you no longer need them, we have to look past the intimidating mask they wear and examine the fragile architecture beneath it. Psychologists like Darren F. McGee often point out that individuals who operate with this level of emotional manipulation are harboring a profound, hidden emptiness. They do not possess an internal anchor of self-worth. In a healthy psychological development, a person learns to self-soothe, to generate their own self-esteem, and to find value from within. But for the narcissist, that internal mechanism is completely shattered or was never built in the first place. Therefore, they must outsource their emotional regulation to the outside world. You are not just a partner, a friend, or a family member to them. You are their emotional life support. You are the mirror that reflects back the grand, flawless image they desperately need to believe about themselves. When you suddenly stop holding up that mirror, when you look at them with clarity and say, "I no longer need you to define me," you are not just initiating a breakup or a boundary. In their mind, you are cutting off their psychological oxygen. This brings us to a phenomenon clinical psychologists call narcissistic injury and the resulting extinction burst. When we look at narcissistic traits in a neutral, educational context, we begin to see them not merely as intentional acts of evil, but as primitive, deeply maladaptive defense mechanisms designed to protect a fiercely fragile ego. When you stop needing them, that ego sustains a massive, intolerable injury. They are suddenly forced to confront the internal void they have spent their entire lives running from, and their nervous system simply cannot handle it. In response, they deploy an extinction burst. Just like a toddler who screams twice as loud when they realize a tantrum is no longer working, the narcissist will escalate their behavior to unprecedented, often terrifying levels to force you back into your designated role. They might suddenly launch a vicious smear campaign to destroy your reputation, attempting to control how others see you, since they can no longer control you. Alternatively, they might flip the script entirely and play the ultimate victim, manufacturing a sudden crisis to exploit your inherent empathy and drag you back into the rescuer role. The emotional toll this takes on the person on the receiving end is absolutely staggering, and it is something that is rarely understood by those who haven't lived through it. Dr. David Hawkins frequently emphasizes how this dynamic creates a profound sense of crazy-making for the victim. You stepped away to find peace, but instead, your nervous system is thrown into a state of chronic hypervigilance. You find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop, constantly checking your phone with a sense of dread, and walking on eggshells even when the person is nowhere near you. Because the narcissist is so skilled at projecting their own shame and malice onto you, you might even start to experience severe cognitive dissonance. You start to ask yourself, wait, am I the toxic one? Did I cause this reaction? Your deep capacity for empathy, the very trait they targeted in the first place, becomes a weapon they use against you. you are left carrying the heavy, agonizing burden of their unprocessed emotional garbage, feeling entirely isolated because to the outside world, the narcissist is often still playing the role of the charming, misunderstood martyr. So, how do you navigate this terrifying storm? How do you protect your emotional well-being and heal from a dynamic that actively seeks to dismantle your reality? The very first and most crucial strategy is to completely detach from the need for their understanding or closure. As Dr. Ramani Durvasula so brilliantly advises, you must embrace the practice of radical acceptance. You have to accept that they are never going to look at you, validate your pain, and say, "You are right, I treated you poorly, and I understand why you are leaving." Expecting them to validate the reality they are desperately fighting to destroy will only keep you trapped in their web. Closure is not something they can give you. Closure is a boundary you give to yourself. Secondly, you must master the art of emotional unresponsiveness, often referred to as the gray rock technique. When they launch their extinction burst, when they send the multi-paragraph texts, when they spread the rumors, when they try to bait you into a screaming match, you must become as boring, neutral, and unreactive as a gray rock. You do not defend yourself, you do not explain your position, and you do not try to correct their distorted narrative. Remember, they are starving for your emotional energy. Your anger, your tears, and your frustration are all proof to them that they still matter, that they still hold power over you. By starving them of a reaction, you are effectively shutting down the supply line. It will feel incredibly uncomfortable at first because your instinct is to defend your truth, but your silence is the most impenetrable shield you have. Finally, your healing requires a deep, intentional focus on your own somatic and psychological recovery. Your body has been operating in survival mode for far too long. You have to teach your nervous system that it is finally safe. This means surrounding yourself with grounded, validating communities or a trauma-informed therapist who understands this specific type of relational dynamic. It means pouring all the patience, love, and grace you kept offering to the narcissist directly back into your own soul. You must rebuild your internal compass, step by slow step, learning to trust your intuition again. When you feel the guilt creeping in, remind yourself that it is not a crime to protect your own life. You were not put on this earth to be a shock absorber for someone else's unresolved trauma. Walking away from someone who demands your subjugation is one of the most terrifying, courageous things a human being can do. The storm they create on your way out is not a sign that you made a mistake. It is the ultimate validation that you made exactly the right choice. If this message helped validate what you are going through, or if it put words to an experience you have been carrying silently, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and like this video so we can continue to navigate this journey of healing together. Please share this script with someone who might be sitting in the dark right now, wondering if they're losing their mind, and leave a comment below sharing one boundary you are proud of setting today. Your story has the power to be a profound beacon of light for someone else. As you step away from the chaos and into the quiet of your own reclaimed life, please hold on to this absolute truth. The fog will lift. The fear will subside. Clarity is the first form of freedom. You are not alone.